Hello everyone, today I will explaining my project where I built a simple AI model to generate LinkedIn job postings using a language model called Tiny Llama. This project covers the entire pipeline from data preparation to fine-tuning a small language model and finally testing it by generating sample LinkedIn postings. So in step 1, finally install all necessary Python libraries. This include popular NLP libraries like transformers, datasets, and packed from Hugging Faces, as well as like bits and bytes for memory optimization. This ensures that I have all the tools needed for data handling, model training, and interfaces. So in step 2, I move to the datasets. I used the CSV file that contains job titles and their description. That file is called LinkedIn job data dot CSV and it has two columns, one for the job title and one for the job details. I used this pandas libraries to read the CSV file. Then I created a data set up to 500 examples. So for each row I generate a simple instructions like write a LinkedIn post about the job. So after this for the output I used corresponding job details from the CSV and finally I saved all these instructions output pair into a file train.jsol which is in JSON line format. This is the dataset I will use for my training. And in the step 3, after preparing the data, I loaded a small open source language model called Tiny Llama. This is the lightweight model with about 1.5 million billion parameters, small enough to fine tune on a single GPU or even a high-end CPU. I used Hugging Face Transformer libraries to load both the models and its tokenizer. The tokenizer converts text into tokens that the model can understand. So in the step 4, dataset loading. In the dataset loading, once the model was ready, I loaded my train data using Hugging Face dataset library. I read the JSON line file into a training dataset object that the train API can use. So I also disable caching to make sure everything loads fresh. And in the in the step 5, uh, in in the step 5, applying LoRa for parameter efficient fine tuning, because I did not want to fine tuning the entire Tiny Llama model from scratches. I used a model called LoRa from the PEP library. LoRa helps reduce memory using by fine tuning only small adapter layers instead of the entire model. I configured it to target the query and value projection layers of the transfer model. So uh, then I wrapped up my original Tiny Llama model with these LoRa adapters. So in the sixth step, in the sixth step, Uh, it's about the setting training arguments. Next, I define my training hyperparameter using the training argument class. So in this I define my training hyperparameter using the training argument class. So some important settings included in first, training epoch, small batch size of 2, granted compilation step learning rate of 2e4 mixed precision training enable. I also use data calculator for language modeling G to handle input format during training. So in the 7th step before training, I tokenize my dataset. This means cover all the text inputs and outputs into token IDs that model understand that that the model understands. So I used a simple map function over that datasets to apply the tokenizers to each example. So in the 8th model, then I start to fine tuning process using Hugging Face Train API. The model trained on my custom dataset learning to generate a LinkedIn job posts from simple instructions. So after this, in the 9th step, I saving the file. In the 9th step, saving the fine-tuned model. After training completed, I saved my uh, fine-tuned model and tokenized it to a directory called fine-tuned model. This way, I can reuse the model later without retraining. So, in the last step, in the 10th step, it is about running interfaces. Finally, I tested my model by loading into a Hugging Face pipeline font text generator, and I gave it an input like same write a LinkedIn job post about the job, and the model generated a simple LinkedIn post using the trained patterns it has learned, and this shows that the fine tuning worked. So in conclusion, I took raw job data, prepared a fine tuning data sets using Tiny Llama with LoRa adapters, training the model, and successfully generate LinkedIn posts. So this project demonstrates the power of small language models for specific content generators, tasks like social media posts, and so on. So, so in this, I I also learned how to data preparation in one of the most important steps in AI projects. Bad data would have made the model generators bad result. I also learned how large models can be fine-tuned efficiently even with the small hardware using smart techniques like LoRa. Now we used full workflow of fine-tuning a language model, including downloading a pre-trained model, preparing a dataset, setting training configures, running training, saving the models, and testing it.